Okay, y'all see it wearing on me now. My face, my posture, my voice. As we enter number 9, in my eyes, I see it in my own eyes. As we enter number 9 of Before Deciding on a Career Choice, which is part of the Inner Selves Management Series here at Motorhomers. And like I said, I'm gonna see if I could not push it, but naturally have it be the 13, which probably wouldn't even be complete because I could talk forever about stuff, but I want it to be content where you're like, okay, yeah, I learned something with each one, not just like, yo, he's trying to stretch this out to 13 videos. And so, so I'm Predada Severa, Beyond Above Deep Black, director of the Illuminati, also its overt director. And if you guys can like, subscribe, and hit all notifications, and especially if you can figure out a way to help me, contact me, and let me know we can make arrangements for whatever way you want to help me. I'd really appreciate it all. We'd really appreciate it all. And you'd be helping me get my life together so that we as the Illuminati and me separately can save the world and existence as a whole. And so, getting back to where I was at in the last video, which was trying to draw the correlation in words or concept between career choice and at the point being out there and being in a motorhome or whatever. I was saying that an alien traveling around in its UFO, it's working. And it can't possibly do the work that needs to be done, which is some important work, without being in a UFO, which is basically, if you can imagine a UFO having tires, it's driving through space. It's not sitting in a house somewhere. And so I was saying all of the negative aspects of a building. So, like, for instance, I could also say, in order for you to have a business that's constructed, first you got to get permits to dig it up and do this, and then you got to dig it up. That takes months and years, sometimes a decade, to construct a certain type of building or whatever, or system of buildings to make a type of business or organization you're making. And you're losing all that time, losing all that money, and doing so much destruction, so much damage. And all of those that do that have their own businesses, and that's their business to go around and destroy to make something else there, which is wrong. Like, so, shipbuilders, that's incredible. I find shipbuilding incredible. Submarines, when I say ships, I mean like water vessels, marine vessels, because you're making something is designed to flow smoothly in this other environment, to maybe not necessarily be symbiotic with it, but in a way, yeah. Airplanes is slightly more than building. And so, these boats and all this stuff like that, what the people actually building them, that's a job where you could say, hey, I build boats. If you're a construction worker, it's like, okay, I wipe out plants and animals within a certain area. It's murder. I can understand, in a manner of speaking, how some people may view it as not necessary, but in a way necessary. But if you could say to someone who was doing construction, hey, listen, instead of wiping all this out right here, what if right there in this open area, you could build something that would float in the air right there? House, facility. Houses are, limited, so I think that's a waste of space. That's what we believe they are. But like a facility that you can live in and build things in, distribute things from, that utilizes the environment and gives back to the environment, and it's floating, it's not destroying the grass or anything there. If you could do that versus tear all of this and tear down these trees to put a building there, where you know what you go through over time with buildings and they're never completely constructed right, and you got to tear stuff back up to fix it. If you could do one or the other, which one do you think would make more sense? And anyone with sense, anyone who's right in their spirit and right in their mind, they'd be like, yo, if I could do the UFO thing, yo, the floating thing, yeah, come on, let's do that. How are we going to get that done? That's what things are supposed to be. And so that you can see how when we start to talk about, okay, you're either living in a house, you're going to a job every day, you're working in a building somewhere, that's one way. That's a career choice. That's a life choice. It's a career choice. It's all tied together. One thing I like to point out is how, and I don't get to do it often enough, how everything is designed so that everybody has to live in this one spot in this community, which doesn't serve them, it serves the people making money. Because they say, okay, well, I can make money off of this environment right over here, but we need people to be there utilizing services and paying, in that area. And we need that area to be this particular type of area, like a place, say for instance, where rich people live, or a place where poor people live. And all of these are for reasons, like keep the poor people away from us, keep the rich people near us, or away from the poor people. And so you accomplish that by digging into the ground, by making it so the poor people aren't moving around and the rich people aren't moving around unless they want to, and they can afford to be in UFOs and expensive other types of vehicles that may or may not roll around or fly or float or whatever, or submarinate, subnavigate. And so they put these things there, these constructions, to mine whatever is there. They put other construction of buildings there to store whatever is there. They put houses there or communities there to have workers always on premises. They put stores there to supply these workers with the things they need, everyday things they need, and even further than that. So you see with the car commercials, which cars, vans, they shove them down your throat though, as if there's something good. Hey, look, now the new thing is, it can do 100 miles an hour while doing 30 miles an hour with the wheels spinning and doing circles in the parking lot. Look at that. You should buy this new Lexus or Toyota or whatever car they may be talking about. And it's not even stretching to say, when I say names, because that's what the commercials show you. A brand new Toyota or a Lexus or what did I say? Nissan? Does Nissan even exist still? I'm not into cars anymore. Anyway, so you see all these different things. The commercial is they're freaking how fast they can go around a track and spin around in the rain. That didn't used to be. Like seriously, that's a commercial to try to get a bunch of kids to do stuff that's illegal. A, things they shouldn't be doing because they can get into an accident. B, they just get their license and that's the thing they're told not to do. And that's the thing they want to do and should be being kept away from. But they come speeding around corners and crash into your car. Crash into people's houses. Flip over, go flying through the air. Hit people at intersections. But that's what they're doing to get people to buy them, to make money off of them. I would almost want to say it's a desperate attempt, and it is to stop what we're doing, right? Either directly or indirectly, But that's what the whole atmosphere is here. It's like, oh my God, these people are starting to wisen up, and they want to get motorhomes, and they want to, live off grid. They don't want to, have the 500 horsepower cars anymore. We have to appeal to their animal instincts and make them want to buy this $80, $90, $100, $200,000 thing that 20, 30 years ago used to cost $15,000 or $20,000. But we just jacked up the price because people got more money because they're doing all kinds of stuff they shouldn't be doing to get all this money, and we need to get them to spend it now before, we have the cops come along and take it away from them and throw them in jail. We want them to spend all that money. And so let's have them, show them these commercials with them doing all that stuff. Let's not show them commercials because you don't see none. How many motorhome commercials do you see? I think about these things all the time, constantly, especially the more I've been involved in everything having to do with the motorhomes aspect versus the other 5,000 plus organizations I run for the Illuminati. Everything having to do with like motorhomes and things of that nature. I'm like, yo, you don't see no commercials about it. You don't even see tractor trailer. I don't like tractors. They're like pointless. The ones that are built like motorhomes, yeah. But other ones, no, they're pointless. But I don't even see those commercials. When's the last time you seen a Mack truck commercial? I can't remember ever seeing one. A motorhome commercial. Not. One or two commercials have been popping up for vans where people are, this is set up for being able to make it into, bus life or whatever they want to call it. Their little ways they say things. And it's a van. Vans are horrible. I made videos on that. We can talk about that another time if you don't know or whatever, or make video series on it. But nothing about motorhomes. They're not saying, hey, yo, Predada, he's out there trying to save the world, get people to live in motorhomes instead of digging up, the ground and killing, murdering animals and stuff you can't even see. That guy, nobody's ever asked me to do a commercial. Not even a movie or TV show. That's the real. And I've been in TVs and movie shows. TVs and movie shows. TVs. I've been in TV shows and movies. This is like what happens when you're trying to do 13 videos back to back. But it's also me normally in a way. So, in terms of career stuff, yeah, I mean, this determines a lot of people's career. You have that whole community. That whole thing is based on someone wanting to have certain people stay right there. So you saw during COVID, I point out to people during COVID, people were trying to get away from the big cities and areas where all these congestions of people were, and they were being forced back to it because the parks closed up so that they couldn't be away from. Nature, if you have non-sick people and they move out into nature, it's making them healthier. It's putting less stress on nature in a sense, right? As long as those people have sense about waste management and things of that nature and utilization of resources. And nobody cares when they're what we want to call a pandemic. But as soon as people are sick or gonna get sick, they want everybody to sit there together and get sick. It's kind of like when they wanted you when you were little kids. This reminds me of it. Reminds me of it. Oh Lord, I can't put words. I'm getting tired. I'm pushing. I'm gather my strength, my resources, push my resources together, consolidate everything. Okay, so it reminds me of when you were a little kid and they wanted you to get chicken pox by having all the other kids get together with you so all of them could get chicken pox. So it wouldn't be one over here getting chicken pox, then another time, then this one get chicken pox. And I understand that, but when you're dealing with COVID and things of that nature, these are things that are designed to murder people. And so they just wanted to murder a whole bunch of people according to, and this has to be a disclaimer, even though I don't feel it's a disclaimer, according to the way, if you just look at the whole picture, it's someone made this, which we know, someone made this to hurt people. It wasn't just something that naturally occurred, and everybody was forced together, whose decision was that, so that everyone could get it. Not so that people couldn't get it, so that everybody could get it. Or maybe people were saying, okay, well, we don't want it spreading, so if we keep people isolated off over here, away from nature, away from the parks, then less people will get it, which doesn't make any sense, because if they're going out into the parks, I mean, the animals will get it, but you're saying that it's going to be communicable between animals and whatever. And I'm the one who told everyone that before it even became a pandemic, and everybody ignored me. Everybody, no matter what kind of job they had, everyone ignored me. And so, you're out in nature, not sick. You go out in nature, no, they want you to be here. So, that doesn't hold water, that they didn't want it to spread. And so all of those are career choices. So look at the career choice you're making, or someone has made for you, or that is just active and accepted when you deal with what people call sticks and bricks, or buildings constructed and communities constructed. If everyone were living in a UFO, we'll say UFO, right? I understand that people would be flying around crashing because they were drunk or high. If we could limit that flying around through the air stuff, and say on the ground, you got these UFOs that are flying around on the ground, a foot off the ground, 2 feet off the ground, no tires, so that you're not tearing up whatever to build tires. That's a whole tire industry that won't exist anymore. And so they don't want that to happen. They don't care about all of the black tar stuff that flies around, and rubber, and all the soot and all the stuff that comes in your house and settles on your floors, which is coming from people driving past on the roads, which is a mixture of, the stuff coming out of their exhaust and the stuff coming off the road, and the worn tire rubber that's going all over the place as a deposit. They don't care about that. They want to make that money. And so, but if everybody was in UFOs, then it's like, okay, where, even if we're talking about a place where you reside, right? So you reside here in your UFO, your mothership UFO, which is what we do. You have your satellite UFOs, what we'll call, like, I won't give them the name, but this is what we do. You have your satellite UFOs, which would be like your buses or your trucks that leave from there, those ports where you stay, right? Your UFO's floating, truck leaves, and it goes to other places you need to go to work or get things done. And so, but no one's tearing up the ground there. And when you deal with resources like water and everything else would naturally have to be, should I say naturally? It doesn't naturally, but you would think that people would want other things, aspects of it, to be natural. So that, unlike when you have sewer systems, it's just all that nastiness going in there for years and years and years until something busts, or someone detects that it's leaked into the ground, and it becomes a hazard that people can't overlook. If instead, these things are floating and you're finding a way to, we have ways, but if you guys are finding a way to get rid of that waste in a manner that puts disposes of it and recycles it, because that's what the whole goal here is, right? Not putting all of that on nature, but even if part of that was on nature is being recycled properly, that's better than a sewer system. That's better than digging up the ground and putting in sewer systems, because you're using buildings. So I guess on the next video, which is, that's going to be 10, right? I'm so tired right now. There's going to be 10. We'll be talking about, we'll be pulling back off of the career choice topic, because at this point, which is kind of where I wanted all this to go, and it seems like so far it's 10 videos to be the beginning of this topic, which is to say, you look at the way society is constructed and operates, and you say to yourself, it doesn't make any sense. It never has, it never will. Someone's benefiting. See, I'm not being able to make words, I'm tired. Should drink some more juice too, right? Juicy water. That's TM, juicy water. Coming soon to a coming soon to a store near you or offline. And we'll continue with this stuff in the next video. Yeah.